journey, also known as MYA Yoga London, and today we'll be working through a total body recovery yoga flow. So what that means is if you have been doing loads of running, loads of HIIT, loads of cycling, or maybe hitting the gym, or maybe you're just feeling like you need a total body recovery yoga flow. Well, this yoga flow will be working through lots of areas of the body that tend to get really tense doing those activities and need a bit of a stretch out and a bit of extra love. I hope you like the video. If you do, please like it, subscribe to my channel, spread the word. I really appreciate it. Have a great day and enjoy your total body recovery yoga flow. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, here. I'm going to show you face on. We're going to bring the feet together. Big toes together, heels slightly apart if that feels quite stable. If you feel a little bit wobbly, take the feet hip distance apart. So about a fist in between each foot. I'm going to come with big toes together. Start to move a little bit on the feet, finding a grounding and a rooting. Lift up all 10 toes off of the mat if you can. Spread them wide and then place them down one by one. So you start to feel a sense of rooting and grounding through those 4 corners of the foot. The big toe, the little toe, and the 2 corners at the back of your heel. At the same time, we're lifting through the arches, feeling a slight engagement in the quads and the thighs, in the tummy and the core. Up here we have the sternum and the crown of the head lifting up towards the sky. So the crown rather than the forehead. So we feel a lift through the spine. The arms are coming down by the side. Palms can face out, palms can face by the side, whichever feels comfortable. Shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades come together. One more time, just to open up the chest a little. And we're taking a few moments here. Close down the eyes and let's breathe together. Inhale, fill the belly. And exhale completely through the nose. Inhale, feel the coolness on the top lip. And exhale, maybe there's a little warmth in the nostrils. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Start to blink open the eyes. Great work. Now we're going to move on to a bit of a back bend. So keeping at the top of your mat in your mountain pose. We're going to lift our arms above our head, interlace the fingers and keep the index finger and the thumb out and up. We're just going to start lifting up through our arms, feeling the stretch from the side body. Now start to pair a motion with the breath. So as you inhale, lift up and feel the stretch along the side body. As you exhale, feel a grounding and rooting through your feet. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, grounding. I'm going to then add a little back bend to this, but we just want to be aware of our foundations. So naturally I have a little bit of a pelvic tilt, an arch in my spine. We want to lengthen the tailbone, draw the pelvis down a little bit to neutralize the spine. You can do this rather than guiding and shoving. If you have a slight engagement in your tummy and your core, bringing the tummy, the belly button towards the spine or imagining that you're doing so, your back will naturally become more neutral. When we're back bending, we're going to keep our hips over our knees and our ankles. So rather than that tilt, the sexy little tilt here, take the hands together, interlace the fingers. Take index finger and thumb pointing out. We're lifting as we did before on the inhale, and as we exhale, we're slightly coming in to a back bend. Remember to engage the core, keep the hips over the knees, tailbones long. Inhale once again, and exhale, bend slightly. Allow the bend not to come from the lower back, but from the middle and upper back even. And if it feels comfortable, you can take the neck back. If not, keep it in a neutral position, neck long. And then come back down. Let's do that one more time. As you inhale, lift the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, engage the core, start to bend backwards. Inhale, lift a little more, feel it along the side body. And exhale, slight bend. Come back to center. Let's shake it out. Staying in the same position. Arms are coming overhead once again. Inhale, we're lifting through our side bodies. And as we exhale, we are stretching over to the side. Feeling the stretch on the outer side body here, all the way from the hips to the fingers. Come back to center, lift and lengthen up through the arms, stretching over to the other side. Take one inhale here, feel it along the arms and the side body, and come back up. If you want, you can do that one more time. Inhaling and exhaling over to the side. Inhale back up, exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen the body. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale, one breath here. And exhale. Come back to center. Give it a shake. Give it a wiggle out. We're going to come to the top of the mat if you're not there already. Taking the feet into the comfortable mounted position you found earlier. Inhale, we're lifting the arms up high. And as we exhale, we're hinging at the hips, folding forward, palms come down to the mat. If your palms don't get there all the way, bend the knees as much as you need to get them towards the mat. Or on the mat even. We're going to take a few breaths here. We haven't got too much weight in our hands. We haven't got too much weight in either of our feet. Everything's evenly distributed. And whilst we're breathing here, you may want to start to play with lengthening the legs. Just a little bit. And see how that feels. Maybe one. Maybe the other. One more deep breath here. On the next inhale, come up to your fingertips or take the hands to the shins and lengthen the spine. So the spine is parallel to the ground, or maybe even a little higher. On your next exhale, fold once again, palms to the mat. Set the right foot back, followed by the left. And we're coming straight into a downward dog. An upside down V almost. Pedal out the feet. Then we're dropping the knees down to the mat, untucking the toes. And we're here in a tabletop position. Here, step the right foot between the hands, coming into a low lunge. Sink a little bit into the hips and just feel the stretch. You may want to come in and out of it, but at At the same time, we want to zip through the inner thighs, so almost like the thighs are squeezing towards each other. And from here, you can take the hands on the hips, maybe come up slightly. Knee is over the ankle, hips are level. Then take the hands down, start to lengthen out the front leg. Flex the foot, coming into a half split. For stability, you can tuck that back toe slightly. Then come forward, frame the right foot, step it back. You're going back to tabletop. We're stepping the left foot forward this time, sinking into the right hip. Still engaging along the inner thighs, squeezing them together. And if we want, we're coming up. Otherwise, frame the left foot. Start to walk the fingertips back, lengthening out the front leg. Flex the foot, half split here. Feel it along the hamstrings. Coming back, framing the left foot, step it back to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the sit bones up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Take deep, generous bends here. A little bit of movement, playing with the weight between the fingers, the hands, the toes. Or if you're comfortable, staying quite static, we're going to start to walk the feet up towards the hands. Keeping the arms straight, maybe bending the knees. Grab opposite elbows when they meet. And start to sway from side to side. Keep a little bend in the knee, just to release the lower back. Now take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, allow the arms to straighten and the fist to come over the head. Allowing the head to be heavy. Then bring the fist down to the lower back. Start to peel the spine up. Coming all the way up and shake it out. Bring the feet to hip distance apart. Start to take the weight more into the left foot here. Bring the right knee into the chest. Place the sole of the foot onto the inner edge of the standing leg. Mine is the left leg. So you can either do that without helping, or you can grab the ankle and place it wherever feels comfortable. So it could be on the calf, it could be next to the ankle and resting on the mat as well. Take the hands to heart center here. We're just practicing our balancing. So feel all of the muscles working in that standing leg. Maybe taking the arms wide and high, and maybe start to move from side to side. Give yourself a chance to challenge that balance. Take the hands into heart center, lift the right knee up towards the chest, extend the foot, take the hands to the hips and hold here for 5, 4, 3, can you lift the leg a little higher? 2, 1. Lowering down, not placing the foot back on the mat quite yet, just allowing it to hover for 3, 2, 1, and place it back down on the mat. Wiggle out, we're moving to the other side. Bring the sole of the foot onto the inside edge of the standing leg, wherever it is comfortable. Take the hands to heart center. Feel the thumbs press against the sternum, opening out the chest. Then take the arms high and wide. Whichever expression you want to do, have a little fun. Woo. And then bring the left knee into the chest. Lengthen out the leg. Hands to the hips for a bit more stability. And try not to lean too far back here. Spine is stacked and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, but we're not placing the foot on the mat just yet. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Great work, guys. From the top of your mat, step the right foot wide along the long edge of your mat and pigeon toe the feet together. So your legs are as wide as they can go, as it feels comfortable and rooted and grounded. So we're pressing through the edges of our feet and lifting through the arches. If you find your feet coming in, just shorten your stance a little. From here, we're taking the hands onto the hips. As you inhale, puff out the chest, feel really proud. And as you exhale, hinge forward, taking the hands down to the mat. If the hands don't reach and you have a block handy, you can place them down on top of the block. Keeping the spine long, keeping it lengthened. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to fold a little deeper. Allow some of the weight to come into the toes rather than hanging out on the heels. Feel those leg muscles working. Feel the rooting through the edges of the feet. Then come up onto your fingertips. Take the hands to your hips, tuck your chin, lift yourself all the way up. Well done. Step the feet back together. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, fold forward, palms come down to the mat, bend the knees. Inhale, hands come to the shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, followed by the left. You're in a plank, high plank. Then press back to downward dog, lift the sit bones towards the sky. From here, bring the knees down to the mat. And we're coming into a seated position. So if crossing the legs feels comfortable, then great. If you want to sit on the heels, if you want to sit on a block, you can grab it and put it underneath your sit bones. And from here, we're taking the left hand, placing it on the outside of the right knee. Take the right hand behind the right sit bones. Lift and lengthen through the spine and twist to the side. Holding here for one more breath. And switching over, right hand on the outside of the left knee. Left fingertips behind the left sit bones. Lift and lengthen the spine and exhale, twist. On the second exhale, you might feel yourself twisting a little deeper. Great work. Then take the soles of the feet together in front of you. Walk the sit bones towards the heels, and the knees are coming out to the side. Keeping the length in the spine, we're grabbing just above the ankles, if that feels good. Or you can interlace the fingers and place them underneath the feet. Sitting tall, we're going to lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward, hinging at the hips. So this isn't coming from pulling at anything, we're allowing our hips to come forward. And the option to press the elbows into the calves, or you can take the elbows outside of the legs and just hinge forward using your hips and your pelvis. On the exhale, you might find that your knees want to naturally come out wider. And if you want to scooch yourself a little bit closer to your heels as well, if that's comfortable. Maybe close down the eyes, draw attention to your breath. Notice the inhales and exhales. Notice the length of your inhale, the length of your exhale, how it feels, how it travels around the body. Whether you can send it to those tight hips. And blink open the eyes. Take the knees back together. We're going to come on to tabletop once again. From here, we're taking our knees as wide as the mat, untucking the toes. Big toes come together. We're going to press the sit bones back towards the heels and bring the arms out in front of us, bringing the forehead down to the mat. Taking a few moments to sink our sit bones back towards the heels a little more. And if we want more of a stretch in our arms, we're coming up to our fingertips. Feeling it along the upper arms, the armpits. Then we're walking the hands back, coming into tabletop. From tabletop, I'm going to move the right palm closer to the left and then step the right foot onto the outside of a right hand. So our shoulder are next to our knee. Here we're in a lizard pose, so we can stay here or we can have a few variations. So option one, to take the left forearm down, maybe the right, or you could use a brick, or from here you can lift the back knee off by tucking the toe. Whatever feels accessible, give it a go, maybe try out all of them, see which one you prefer. And if you're on your back toe, you might want to come forward and back a little. Just a few moments here. Then drop the knee if it's up, place the palms back and take the foot back and the knee back into tabletop. Next side, left palm comes towards the center of the mat, step the left foot forward. We're coming into lizard pose on the left hand side. So find the variation that works for you. Have a little experiment, and then once you've decided which one you like, take a few minutes here. When you're done, place the palms flat on the mat, set the right foot back, and we're back in tabletop. From tabletop, we're lifting the left arm all the way up towards the sky, and then we're threading it underneath the right arm, bringing the left ear down to the mat. Hips are still stacked above knees, and you can take right fingertips forward. You can tuck right toe and lengthen it down the mat. We're twisting the chest slightly towards the side of the room. One more breath here. Place the right palm down, lift the left arm all the way up, place it back down on the mat, moving to the other side, right arm all the way up, thread it underneath the left arm, right ear down to the mat. Taking any variations and options. When you're ready, lift the right arm all the way up and place it back down. From tabletop, we're taking the left knee towards the left wrist, and then we're opening up the left foot along the short edge of a mat. So it might be parallel, mine is at an angle as you can see. So we're coming into pigeon. Lengthen down that right leg along the length of the mat. And we're still staying on fingertips here. Engage your core. If you feel comfortable here, you can stay here. If you find that there's a big gap between your left glute and the floor. You can use a pillow or a block to place it under to give a bit more support. If you want, you can sink down, hands, forearms, maybe the forehead comes down to the mat. And you're going to feel it in your glutes. So allow the breath to travel there. Taking a few deep, whole breaths. Coming back up. Tucking the back toe. Step back to plank. Take the right knee behind the right wrist. Lower down the leg. Coming into pigeon on the other side. Untuck that back toe. We're strong, feeling strong on our fingertips. Cores engaged here. Not falling into the lower back. And if we want, we're going to start walking our fingertips forward, bringing our forehead down to the mat. Press up, come onto fingertips. We're going to come down onto our right glute and bring the left foot all the way round to the front. Take the feet onto the mat. We're lowering down, using our core, so hands either side of the legs. Lowering down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we're taking knees in towards the chest. Give them a little squeeze. Wrap the right leg over the left leg, maybe once or twice. And then take it over to the left-hand side. Arms come wide. And we're gazing over the right shoulder. Bring everything back to the center. Uncross the legs, cross them around the other way once or twice, and then bring them over to the right hand side of the mat. Open the arms wide or into a cactus shape and gaze over the left shoulder. So you might notice this side feels a bit different. Maybe the knees are higher, maybe the shoulders aren't on the mat. And if you like, you can use that right hand to coax the left knee down, if that is comfortable. Feeling that twisting sensation in the body, twisting the organs, giving a nice little massage. Then coming back to center, unwind the legs and give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe start rolling on the spine. Then we're going to grab our strap. So we're going to unwind our strap. Take the left leg straight along the mat. Take the right knee into the chest, and we're going to take the strap along the ball of the foot. We're going to allow our hands to come down so the arms are on the floor, shoulders are on the floor. And we're going to lengthen our leg as much as possible. So flex the foot and start to lengthen the leg, drawing it towards the chest. And there might not be a lot of movement, but you're going to feel it in your hamstrings. And after a couple of breaths, we're going to take the right foot down towards the right side. Keeping both hips on the floor. So you can use the right hand or you can use both hands. We're not going to take it so that it's flat on the floor. We're going to take it to where it goes before the left hip starts to lift up completely. And again, as we did before, bringing the leg towards the chest. Hanging out here for a few minutes. Find a slight engagement in the core. Then bring yourself all the way back up. We're going over to the left hand side this time. So the right leg crosses over. Keeping the shoulders on the mat. Keeping the leg as lengthened as we can. We're drawing the leg towards our chest. And then coming back to center. Letting the leg come down to the length of the mat. Give them a little wiggle. Moving on to the other side. So take the strap around the ball of the foot. Hands come all the way down the strap. Shoulders come to the mat. Start to draw the leg towards the chest. So you're going to feel it along the hamstrings. Especially if you've been doing lots of running, lots of other activities. And start to take it out to the left hand side, keeping the right hip on the mat. Maybe using the right hand to coax it back if it starts to lift. And keeping those shoulders on the mat as well. Then come back to center. Left leg goes over to the right hand side. And we're sticking here for a few moments. We're coming all the way back to center. We're unhooking the strap. Take the knees into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze, a little roll. Then we're going to start rolling up the length of the spine, giving yourself a little massage, rolling yourself all the way up, coming back onto tabletop. From here we're taking the knees as wide as the mat, and we're taking more weight into our hands, which are under our face. Then start to allow the knees to come out as wide as is comfortable, and the shins come parallel to each other. So the groin's coming down to the mat. We're going to feel that in our groin. Come on to the forearms. We're coming into frog. Keep the feet flexed. You may find the knees going out a little bit more. If this is really, really uncomfortable, do this with a couple of pillows underneath your groin. If not, we'll stay here a few moments. You can stay here even longer if it feels good. When you're ready, slowly start to bring the knees in, coming up onto hands. Make your way back up to tabletop. We're coming onto our backs this time, lowering down, taking the feet as wide as the mat. Hands come away from the body, palms are facing up. Close down the eyes, and we're taking a few moments here just to let all that energy, all that work do its job. Absorbing the good work that you did, stretching out your muscles, for a full body recovery. Start to deepen your breath, wiggling the toes and the fingers. A few circles with the ankles and the wrists. And then draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug. And start to roll up to seated, maybe coming over to the side, pressing up. Come into a comfortable seated position. We're taking a few moments here. 2 inhales together. Inhaling and exhale. Sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. Start to blink open the eyes. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you on the mat sometime soon.